On this episode of the Infowars Blitz, Radical Feminism is destroying young men. Media buries Islamist motivation behind Sydney siege, and Texas ways allowing open carry on handguns. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. Okay, folks, first article of the day here, and it's an article written by Paul Watson. The article is named Radical Feminism is Destroying Young Men. Underneath it says, the Sexodus. Guys are checking out of society and relationships. I wonder why is that happening. Anyway, why are more young men giving up on women and checking out of society? They call it the Sexodus, an entire generation of boys abandoning female company, relinquishing relationships, retreating into a virtual reality world of pornography, video games, lag culture, and chemical addictions. Occasionally, on the flip side, on the flip side of this, it's also the same way. How often do you hear women who resisted the brainwashing of radical feminism bemoaning the fact that they are no longer find a real man, men who are actually confident enough to know how to act around women without being constantly terrified that every word that utters, every behavior they express, and every opinion they expose may be taken to an offensive predatory behavior. It also goes on to say that this cockroachy between the women say that they want what they want and what they will actually want, so severance to confuse young men further. Basically, I've got the video here, so listen to it for a bit.
Every opinion they espouse may be taken as offensive, sexist, or predatory. In part 1 of a series of articles on the Sexodus, Breitbart's Milo Yiannopoulos notes how an entire generation of young people are being left behind in the wreck.
Yiannopoulos spoke to Jack Rivlin, editor of over 30 student newspapers, who told him of the increasingly troubling trend of young men on campus being completely clueless and scared when it comes to how to engage with women. What's to blame for this breakdown? The hysterical propaganda surrounding so-called rape culture, exemplified by the recent Rolling Stone University of Virginia scandal, plays a major role, as does its consequences. Mandatory consent classes and California's onerous and confusing yes means yes law, where students, in whatever state of inebriation, need to secure a kind of arbitrary verbal contract with each other before they can engage in any kind of sexual activity.
I mean, really? Paul just said it right there. So I'm going to post the article, I'm going to post the video here so you all can watch it, alright? Moving on to the second article here. An article, well, basically, if you haven't known it already, there was a attack on a cafe in Australia, and the mainstream media is saying that it's an attack on ISIS. But I don't think so. According to Paul Joseph Watson, of course, another article he has written here. And the title here is named Media Buries Islamic Motivation Behind Islamist Siege. Narrative shifts to ploy cult as lone actor with no political agenda. Basically. And I just got done listening to the Infowars news, the Alex Jones Show with David Knight, and basically what they both were saying was this guy had a criminal record with basically he had a criminal record. I mean, he was sleeping with 5 different women, but anyway, I'm gonna read the article here. Despite demand to speak with the Prime Minister asking for an ISIS flag, telling the hostages that the media was covering up ISIS' responsibility for the attack, the narrative in the Sydney siege quickly shifted to portraying culprit Harun Morris is an isolated figure who had no real political motivations. 2 people, including a gunman, died after commandos stormed the building earlier today, ending a 16-hour siege. And there's a video here along with her too. Sorry about that. Whether or not Monis was an ISIS member or merely inspired by ISIS to downplay that his actions were politically motivated is partly naive. While it is true that Monis was out on bail after being charged as an associate to a murder of his ex-wife, both his history and his actions during the siege clearly indicate that he was driven by extremist Islamic idealism. The article goes on here to say that in 2008, Australia's senior Shia leader, Kabal Massouri, I'm sorry if I get the name wrong, I'm sorry, was under federal police investigation moments while detaining himself from the cleric, assessing that no one knew who he was. In September last year, Monis was sentenced to 300 years of community service for sending hate mail to families of Australian soldiers killed in Afghanistan. I mean, seriously, this guy got some issues. I'm sorry, he had some serious issues. And basically the media just says, oh my god, it's ISIS, when the fact that he was just a lone criminal associated with 5 different women. And basically, you know, I was going to add on to that basically this guy here, was just a lone criminal, you know. That is all I have to say. But anyway, moving on here, the Boston Globe. And I hate to say this too. This is an article from the Boston Globe. It was, quote-unquote, founded. Infowars, I picked up the article. And the article is titled, Texas Weights allowing open carry of firearms. And this might be a win for the Second Amendment. Kinda, but not all the way. It was read by Jim Verto. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. Sorry if I get your name wrong, buddy, but I'm trying. Long despite as the root in capital American gun culture, Texas is one of the few states with an outright ban on open carry of handguns. This could change in 2015 with the Republican-dominated legislation and governor-elected Greg Abbott, pronouncing his last name wrong, folks, sorry, expected to push for expansion of gun rights. If open carry is good enough for Massachusetts, it's good enough for the state of Texas, Abbott says the day after the election last month. And if Texas, which allows concealed carry handgun, embraces open carry, rolling back a 140-year ban, it would be the largest state to have done so. Connie Roy, a 63-year-old rancher in Blanco, carries a handgun in her purse for personal protection and says she likes the opinion of open carry. It's apparent openly on her belt if she could. She already does when she's on her ranch and feels comfortable with her gun by her side. Basically, I'm kind of happy about this too. And I wish I had gun training and shooting, but I'm very happy about this. I mean, the UN wants I mean, the UN's gun ban about to come in like what, a couple of weeks now, and this might be a problem. It might thumb it in the face of everybody else. So go, woohoo, go, scroll up for the gun rights. Well, that's all I'm going to have for today. If you'd like to read about the articles, please go to links below, or go to info.com to find 100 other articles just like this one. This is Info Blitz. I'm Info Gotham, wishing all of you a very safe and happy, well, I shouldn't say happy, but Merry Christmas. I mean, this may be the last one in 2014, but if I have another video up, then basically I will announce that on that video. So basically, Merry Christmas and be safe. Thank you.